So we are Raman and Lakshman from startup Backcat Creators. We are building a non-invasive bionic ear for children who born with a severe to profound hearing loss. So typically severe to profound hearing impaired children treated with the hearing aid implants, which is called cochlear implants, which requires a invasive surgery and comes with a lots of limitation. So what we are doing is by a magnetic stimulation, we are making them to hear without any surgery and limitation. So that's make us unique and novel. So it's always the questions like why the 50% of a hearing technology or device come from a single place or a single country. So that's lead us to find the SoundUp. That's make us to apply for a SoundUp Accelerator program. So as a startup working in a deep technologies or a translational research, so there is a few key areas which we like to bridge our in expertise. So being in an ecosystem where we have a more talents working in a sound technologies and acoustic researchers, so which can help us to build our technology and getting a better clarity on our narrow focus areas and support which is relevant to all our research and development from the existing stakeholders have their experience in this domain. So the thing is like it's totally changed. The first and foremost thing what I tried to convey as in terms of a learning is like we have come up with a different expectations, but what we have learned is like whenever we are doing something impossible or a breakthrough, the biggest challenge is like what's the first problem we need to solve, which part of the process we need to focus. So the first and foremost learning is from a SoundUp. We learn what going to be our core key area to achieve our bionic ear, where we need to put our time and efforts to make a progress on over there. So that's the major learning. Focus on like what is a key area going to derive us to achieve our vision. And so far what we gained over the program is we can say the better clarity of a narrow focus which we need to focus, because earlier we have a lots of assumptions and we are progressing over those assumptions and hypotheses. So now with the support of the team and a part of a program, we had a better clarity on what we are going to work on. For example, now we are narrowly focusing towards magnetic stimulations and its correlations with the hearing sensation. So this narrow focus saved us a lot of time and energy to be in a very precise way of moving further. So the most impressive part is like the thing is like surprising. So SoundUp always surprise you whenever you are come up with a different expectation. So similar happened for us. In a journey of a startup, the most important thing is clarity and asking a right questions. The good thing is the SoundUp and the team ask a right question for us to derive on a right direction. So that's the most important part we learned and we gained. So that's the most important point. We can also suggest fellow startups to apply for the Startup SoundTech Accelerator program. And mainly what impressed us the most is in a SoundUp, the most key part or a skill we need to have as a startup or a team of a startup is having a right people at a right topic. So that is also a key of a process. So when we have been a part of a SoundUp Denmark, so we could find a very closest and right people for our right topics. So which bridges a lots of time and inexperience of whatever the startups comes with. So that's a key, and I will suggest a fellow startup to apply for it, because you have a right people on a right topics if you are working on a sound technologies over here in SoundUp. That will help you a lot in your journey and fast track your progress.